Welcome back to our Compound Interest Mastery series, where we are exploring ways to calculate all four of our variables that are present within our compound interest formula. As we know, compound interest is an integral part of our financial mathematics unit, so let's get straight into today's variable, which is going to be calculating I. Now we are going to be having a look at this example here for this tutorial, whereby if interest is calculated and added to an account each quarter, what annual rate of interest is needed for an investment of $14,000 to earn $2,000 interest in 4 years. We also want to give our final answer to 2 decimal places. So just like with all of our compound interest problems, we are going to start by identifying which of our 4 variables we have information for from the question. We have been asked to have an investment of $14,000, which will be our principal, and $2,000 interest. Adding that $2,000 interest onto the original principal will give us our amount of $16,000. We want this to occur over 4 years. However, we've been told that the interest is being added to the account each quarter. So this means that we need to multiply this 4 years by 4 to show that we have a total of 16 quarters that are going to occur in the time of this investment. We want to determine what the annual rate of interest is. So our I in this instance will be unknown. Now that we've identified 3 out of our 4 variables, we are going to substitute them into our compound interest formula and solve for our unknown value of I. So we will have 16,000 equals 14,000, open bracket, 1 plus I to the power of 16. So we're going to start by dividing both sides by 14,000. So we'll have 8 over 7 equals 1 plus I to the power of 16. Then we are going to take the 16th root of both sides. So our right hand side, we end up with 1 plus I on its own. And on our left hand side, we are going to end up with 1.00838. Now there isn't necessarily a minimum number of decimal places we want to have this value to. However, as an example, if I was only to round it to 1 or 2 decimal places, I would lose a lot of accuracy in my solution. So for these sorts of problems, a minimum of 4 is usually pretty safe. We can now subtract 1 from both sides. So we'll have 0.00838 equals I. The only thing we have to watch with this particular solution is that we will have 0.838%, but this is just representative of the interest rate per quarter. Because usually when we're given our interest rate in these compound interest problems, up here in our variables, we would have already divided that rate per annum by the number of compounding periods each year. So we need to do the opposite process for this value and multiply it by 4 to get our final per annum value. This will give us an I of 3.352% per annum. So when we are finalizing this question, we also need to take into consideration the fact that it asked us to round our final answer to 2 decimal places. So we can say that a rate of interest of, rounding this answer to 2 decimal places, 3.35% is needed. And that is how we calculate our unknown interest rate in compound interest problems, always remembering to check what our compounding period per year is before we reach our final answer. Hope you enjoyed this mastery series on compound interest. Happy solving with all of your compound interest questions involving our unknown interest rates. Let me know how you went in the comments below with some of the compound interest problems you've attempted, or if there's any other topics that you would like to see covered in these videos.